Hello everyone, my name is Sue McNally and I'm going to be talking to you today about my research reference guide. A research reference guide can help you keep all your resources at your fingertips when taking the level 2 and 3 tests for professional genealogical accreditation through ICAPGen. When you decide to pursue accreditation through ICAPGen, you're asked to choose a region. I will be pursuing accreditation in the England region, so my research reference guide will reflect that. There are a number of different formats that you could use for your guide. You could use a binder and create paper guides, or you could use an electronic format, such things as Evernote, Microsoft Word and Excel, Google Drive, etc. I've chosen to use Google Drive as I wanted easy access from any computer anywhere. As you can see on the screen, I have my main England resource guide divided into 7 categories: Countrywide General, General History and Geography, Research Methodologies, Record Types, Online Sources / Electronic Databases, Document Interpretation, and the last one is Other Resources. So let me show you briefly what I have in some of these categories. In the Countrywide General folder, I start with an index. This is an index to everything in my research reference guide, and it'll be a quick way for me to jump to a certain file within my guide. It's in alphabetical order to make it a little easier to find things quickly. Also in the Countrywide General folder is a guide to English censuses. This table includes the date that the census was taken, the information in that particular census, and links to searching that census at various genealogy sites. Also in this file, or in this folder, is a file listing the main archives and libraries in England and some links to their collections. A general countrywide info. This is things like the change from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar. And lastly, not lastly, but I also have a file with direct links to the Family Search wiki pages for each county in England. And last of all, I have a work in progress. This is my online collections of the major archives, libraries, family history societies, etc. I'm still working on that one. Moving on to the General History and Geography folder. This folder contains files for a timeline, some general history and geography information, and maps and gazetteers. One thing I really like about using Google Docs is the ability to display on the left the major contents of the page. So you can jump quickly to a particular date and be able to see what you've written down for that date. The Research Methodology folder is also still very much a work in progress. This will hold files like methodologies, how to find a birth date in a certain period of time, locating a maiden name, etc. It will also have information on research planning questions. The Record Types folder is probably the one I've worked the most on. I want to be able to find information really quickly on a specific record type, and let me show you how I've set this up. So using the important record types for my region of England, that's these here, I have created 3 main pages to reflect must-know records, good working knowledge records, and some familiarity records. This is ICAPGen's record type list for England, and underneath it for this must-know record types, I've created a table for each record type in that category. So for example, one record type to know really well, tells us, is church records. We could look at the marriages. So I have a link here which actually links to the document that I created with some information on marriages and all the different kinds of records that we might find for those. The document also lists, that document that I just showed you lists what I can expect to find at different periods of time on a marriage record. And the table also contains a list or a link to a document I created on the online sources available for church records. So I'm able to jump to that bookmark right there, and I'll be adding more as I go along. And back to this table, I also have a link to a document sample. So for example, if I wanted to look at what a marriage allegation looks like, I'm able to jump directly to that document. And I've done the same for the documents, the records in the good working knowledge category and in the some familiarity category. And what you see here are the rest of the individual files that these three tables link to. Moving on to online sources, I've already showed you a little bit of this file. This is, it links back to those three tables. It is just a running list of online sources under the various categories, and again, it's really nice to be able to use this left-hand table of contents to be able to jump to that particular record that you're interested in. Also within this folder is a file with a spreadsheet on county-specific resources. So at the bottom of the screen here you can see all the counties in England. That list just kind of keeps going. And under each one of these is things such as the local archives, websites that are specific to that particular county, such as a Durham Mining Museum for County Durham. I think this will be a great aid to be able to find records online for a specific county. In the document interpretation folder, I have files filled with document samples. I've again divided them into must know and good working knowledge. There aren't really any document samples for the some familiarity record types, not for England, because this is things like biographies, etc. So again, it makes it easy to have that table there and be able to jump to different records. Now also in this folder is a handwriting file and a Latin word list. And then the last folder that I have is called Other Resources. And again, I've got a table of contents. And this table of contents links to articles, general websites, general reference material on things like old occupations, diseases, and so on. I've used articles from genealogy societies, webinar handouts, conference handouts, and I've actually added them here for reference. And again, that's also one that I'll be working more on. So that's about it when it comes to my research reference guide. I actually found this project really fun. I love to organize, and so the whole process of organizing this guide was fun, and it was informative too. Hopefully it's going to be functional and allow me quick access to information that I need for the level 2 and 3 tests. And thank you so much for watching.